Hey, welcome to another episode of Atkins Diet in the Kitchen. My name is, of course, Kent Holzner, and as my longtime viewers know, I've done product reviews for barbecue sauces in the past, and I wasn't really happy with any of them. And the number one barbecue sauce on the market, KC Masterpiece Classic Edition, has gone off the market. And I've been unable to find the Hunt's low-calorie one, and that one's really not as good as the KC Masterpiece, both in terms of taste or in terms of low-carb acceptability, because it does indeed have some corn syrup still left in it. So to that end, this past New Year's Eve, my wife was looking for a recipe for making a cocktail weenie-like recipe for as an appetizer. And I went looking out to find an alternative recipe on the market to make my own barbecue sauce. So come along with me and we'll make one up together. The first piece of this recipe is 1 cup of Hunt's tomato sauce. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of Heinz 1 carb ketchup. If you can't find the Heinz 1 carb ketchup, go to Linda's low carb recipe site. I'll put a link down below on her Better Than Heinz recipe. Alright, there's 1 cup. To this, I'm going to add a half a cup of distilled vinegar. And a half a cup of Splenda, or its liquid equivalent, which in this case is about 12 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright. Now the original recipe called for brown sugar as well as molasses. Well, I went and got blackstrap molasses, which is the lowest carb of any molasses, and I'm going to bump up the molasses a little bit. This recipe originally came from allrecipes.com and was listed as Big Al's KC barbecue sauce, and was one of the #1 rated barbecue sauces there. And I guarantee it's one of my favorite too. So to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of blackstrap molasses. Alright, pour that in. I know I didn't get all the 1/4 cup because it's still coating my spoon, but we'll go with that. And turn on your stove at this point to a medium heat so it starts boiling. And I'm going to take out a spatula to start mixing it up. Alright, so now we get to add our spices. I need to add half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, two teaspoons of liquid smoke, there's 1, and there's 2. Alright, finished off that bottle. I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. As I almost dropped the lid. To this, I'm going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili powder to give it some kick. And to also bump up the kick, I'm going to add a dash of red pepper or cayenne pepper. And to mellow it out, I'm going to add just a dash of cinnamon. And then finally, to add to the stickiness of the sauce, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. Alright, I'm going to let this cook for about 20 minutes on the stove. It's going to simmer so all the flavors come together, the butter's going to melt, and it's going to be ready to serve at that point. It makes about 3 cups of sauce, or about 48 1 tablespoon servings. I worked out the net carbs of this to be about 2 grams of net carbs per serving from both the molasses and the tomato sauce as well as the ketchup. But if you compare that to any of the competitive or commercial brands, even the low carb ones that like Casey Masterpiece or the Hunt's one were well over that in terms of net carbs. And I guarantee you this is the most delicious one out there. I hope this reaches everyone in great health, and I'll show you some finished products on how I used it over the New Year's Eve holiday in the pictures after the show. Talk to you guys later. Bye.